Good morning, Flosstube. I am Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And this is my channel about cross stitch. Welcome. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you will stick around. Hopefully you'll see something you like. Hit the subscribe button. Click on the bell so that you can get your notifications. And just I'm excited to make a new friend. And if you are returning, welcome back. I enjoy the comments, the likes, the subscribes, and just the friendships of all of my Flosstube and fellow Stitchers. Today is Sunday, March 5th. It is about 8:45 in the morning, and it is sunny in South Carolina. It is the first sunny weekend we have had in 2023, where it's been sunny the whole weekend. You can probably tell. I'm a bit pink everywhere. My neck, my arms, my face. Didn't expect it to be as sunny as it was yesterday, and I was outside all day long. And so I'm a little bit sunburned, but I'm not complaining. I'm a little sore, but I'm not complaining. I am so excited for the sunny weather. I have been waiting for this gorgeous spring weather. So I'm excited. What do I have for y'all today? I have no finishes because that's not me. We've not had one yet in 2023. I think we will have one this month because it's a whip go goal. So hopefully we will have one this month. But oops. Sorry. My ring light decided to start sliding off of the shelf that it's sitting on. So that could have been much worse than me just reaching across in front of you to save it. Not really sure what happened there. But we are not joined by any dogs this morning. They have been a little bit wild, active, and right now they are taking naps in their crates because we all needed a break from them this morning. One of them was awake and barking at 4:45 this morning, so he's been up for a while. It was nap time for him. And the other one, he just couldn't get settled, and so he also got to go take some time in his crate so that he could just calm down and not destroy my house. We do crate train our dogs because it's very helpful when you have large dogs to have a place where they can go and they know that they can settle in there. It's not a punishment. It's a rest time, and we'll tell Milo, we'll tell him it's nap time, and he'll go to his crate. We close the door. So it's definitely been a benefit, not a burden. But this is not a cross stitch. This is not a channel about dogs. It's a channel about cross stitch. So let's see some cross stitch. I do have some works in progress or whips. I have my wrap up of February, and that would be Milo you hear barking. So apparently he is awake from his nap. And wanting to let us know he's ready to get up. So he may be joining us in a little bit. We shall see. Have some plans for March, and then some life stuff, which I always throw at the end, just in case you're only here for the stitching and not the life stuff. You can scoot out when the stitching part's over. And I'll try to remember to let you know when it is over. So let's see what I have, what I've worked on. My full coverage focus this year, and basically my focus piece for this year, is Christmas 2. This is what it's going to look like when it is finished. And here is where it was last time I showed you. And I have a page finished, y'all. I finished this page. Y'all ignore the hangy threads, but this is, I do part my threads as I go down. But I finished this page. I think the last time I showed you I had some scattered ninja stitches that needed to be filled in. So those have been filled in, and I've started going across the top of the next page. This is the edge of the next page. So I've reached almost all the way across. I got to finish in this and then move on down. So hopefully I'll get another page finished this month. I doubt it, just because I have a lot of other things I want to work on this month. But if I can get about half a page finished, I'd be happy. February just went by way too fast. I did not get nearly as much done as I thought I would on this, so I didn't get the page finished until Thursday, which was March 2nd. So I had hoped to get a page finish on it in February. But that's life, and I did at least get the page finished. So the next piece I have, and I did try to unzip everything beforehand. This is in my Amazon bag, which I've started decorating with my little stickers that I get because every time I get an order from my Fabric of the Month from Grace Notes Fabrics, they include a little sticker. So this was a corgi cupcake that came in a few months ago. This is Flosstube Friends. And it's from October House Fiber Arts. I think I forgot to tell you, Christmas 2 is from Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. If I forget, it's all in the description box below. Fabrics, designers, names of pieces. Because apparently, I'm forgetful. It's not like I do this every 2 weeks and I don't remember what I'm doing. But this is Flosstube Friends from October House Stitch Fiber Arts. And I am doing this with several other Flosstubers. Hannah Dowling from Hannah Dowling, and Corinne and Colleen from Grace Notes Fabrics and Grace Notes Stitchers, and Amy, I don't remember her Flosstube channel, and the sixth person is escaping me. But each of us, so every 2 months, Hannah Dowling, who is coordinating all of this, is spinning to see who gets to pick. The first month it was Corinne, and she chose this lady right here, and her color that she chose for her was purple. So I finished her. So I got her finished with purple, and I'm using that teal. It's Ocean Breeze from Weeks Dye Works. I'm using that as my, hopefully my tie-in color. So the next person who got spun, because Hannah spun earlier this week, and it was me. So I have chosen this lady right here, and my color was teal. So I told you that the Ocean Breeze is my tie-in color. So I'm going to pick a deeper teal for the dress, and then use the Ocean Breeze for these little motifs within the dress. And I'm going to give her a little longer hair because I do have very long hair, and I'm probably not going to make it gray, although I do have some. I'm not completely gray yet, so I will change her hair color a little bit too. But I'm very excited. We have, so like I said, she spins every 2 months, so I have March and April to get her done, and I'm hoping to also finish the border in the next 2 months. So that is Flosstube Friends, and this is on 32 count color and cotton Ophelia. I thought it was a really nice neutral, because not knowing what colors the other ladies are going to choose for their dresses, I wanted to have something that would go with whatever color anybody chose. So I chose the Ophelia. It's a really pretty neutral, kind of light tan, off-white, whatever you want to call it. The next one is another full coverage. I did try to focus on full coverage in February. I did work on some other things like Flosstube Friends and other things that had goals that I wanted to hit, but mostly I worked on full coverage. So, this is what it's going to look like. And this is where it was last time I showed you. And I know I forgot to do that with Flosstube Friends. I'm sure at some point I did put in what it had looked like the last time I showed you. So this is where we are now. I finished this whole page and this whole page, working on this page going down. And what I'm doing is I pick the next empty spot, choose that color, and work that thread until I either finish those stitches on this page and then I park them for the next time, or until I finish the thread out. Like with this blue, there's a lot of blue, so I did that until I finished, and then I'll have to, when I get down to the next empty space for that color, I'll start it back again. But it's getting there. This is my largest project by far, so it's going to take me a while. And this is on 32 count easy grid, and I'm stitching it 1/1 full cross. My next piece is January Celtic Knot from Ink Circles, and here is what it's going to look like. Well, at least the design. It's not got a color. It was a free pattern from Ink Circles, and I'm using it for the DMC challenge from Magical Stitches, where Vicki from Reading and Stitching is the moderator of Magical Stitches, and she did a random DMC generator, and for 52 colors, so one color a week. I'm not stitching one time a week, so I did a big like 7 color catch up this past week and filled in those colors. If I have that color in a project that I'm working on, I try to get those colors, those 100 stitches done on that project. But sometimes it's not in a spot where it's easily accessed, or I don't have a project with those colors. So this has become my project to throw some colors in, and it's making a really nice looking little design. So here's where it was last time. And it is housed in a regular Ziploc because it was a free pattern. I just threw it in there. And this is on 40 count Grace Notes fabrics in the colorway Swiss Mocha. And here's where it is. I love how, I don't know how this happened. I started this last year with the DMC challenge, and then I got like 4 weeks in and just failed miserably. But I like how it's dark and then it fades down to lighter colors down here, just because of how she happened to call them and the order they were in, and then how I try to follow like the same color so it looks like it's going through and then goes into the next color. So I'm excited for how this is turning out. I love this fabric. I love the modeling in Grace Notes fabrics. Absolutely love it. If you don't have any Grace Notes fabrics, definitely check them out. Their fabrics are nice. They're soft. They're not crunchy. Well, at least I get linen because I'm a linen stitcher, but I can't imagine they have crunchy Aida either, just because I don't know if it's their dyeing process or, but it's so soft and so just lovely to work with. The next one, I did a lot of stitching on different projects, so I have several whips to share. The next one is Royal Nutcrackers, and this is from Bobbie G Designs. And this is what it's going to look like. And here is where it was the last time I showed you. And this is in an Amazon bag that does not have any stickers on it yet, but it will. And this is on 32 count Picture This Plus Fawn. And that bag just fell off my desk. And I'm getting there. I'm trying to, work a little bit on each of them so that they all come to life at the same time, and I get bored working on one thing for a very long time, so if I switch from Nutcracker to Nutcracker, it keeps my interest. So it's coming along. I know that there are stitchers out there that would find my style of stitching absolutely terrifying because they work on a motif or a part of the design and they finish it, or they color complete. I am random and sporadic, and it works for me, so that's all that matters, is however works for you. If you are a color completer or you can complete one whole motif, I am impressed by you, because I can't. I get bored, and then I don't want to work on the piece because I'm bored. So I love watching people's things come to life as they stitch one thing and then they move to another part of the design and stitch that. I wish I could do that. I cannot. My next one is the office. This is my travel piece. Well, it's one of my 2 travel pieces. I believe I hear whining out the door, but all my stuff is on the floor and he can't come in because he will get into it. This is one of my travel pieces. I worked on this last weekend when we were out of town, and I'll talk more about that at the end during life. But this is what it's going to look like. And this is where it was the last time I showed you. And here is where it is now. And this is on 32 count color and cotton succulent. And apparently I have my needle minder right smack in the middle. I believe this might get a finish in the next couple of months if I actually work on this, because as you can see, the circle is almost complete. I just have this area down here to finish off. I need to finish the word Galactica, I think. I'm pretty sure that Galactica is part of the design. And whatever this is a box. I don't remember what goes in that box, but this is a box. And then I need to finish the word nothing and the Dwight bobblehead. And then there's a couple of other motifs down here and down in here that I need to finish. And then this will be done. And I think this will be going with me next weekend when we travel. And there's a lot of, hopefully, a lot of downtime where I can work on it. So, just poke myself with my needle. I probably should have made sure it was better attached to my needle minder and not sticking through my fabric, but that's okay. So, this will hopefully get more work on it between now and the next time I see you all. And then the last project is my other travel project. I was kind of tired of working on my office piece, and so we had a track meet yesterday, and I really didn't want to take the office project. Plus, I've got a lot of stitching time coming up, and I don't want to take more than one project next weekend. So if I just take the office piece, I might even be able to finish it next weekend. But if not, I'll be close. But I didn't want to get even closer to a finish and then have nothing to stitch on for part of the trip, if that makes sense. I don't want to pack more than one thing. I want more than one project. I have limited bag space. We're not checking our bags, so we just have the 2 carry-ons that we can take, and I have a limited bag space. So I didn't want to work anymore on the office between now and my trip this weekend. So I pulled out Reflections of Norway from Ink Circles. And this is what it's going to look like. And this is where it was the last time I showed you. And this is in a Stitch and Button bag, an Americana. I realize it's reflections of Norway, and this is not Norway, this is America, but I am American, but my heritage is Norwegian. My grandfather came here from Norway, and so my mom was 50% Norwegian, and I am 25% Norwegian, and I fully embrace that. I grew up learning about the Norwegian heritage that I share, and so for me, I'm as much American as I am Norwegian, if that makes sense. So I put it in my America bag. I was working on this yesterday while we were at the track meet, and I got this part done right here. As you can tell, I didn't quite finish before we left, and so I just hung my thread over here and attached it to the needle binder. We're going to ignore him. He is not coming in. But while I was working on this, as you can see, this is a little bit close to this instead of centered. And I realized that this is one stitch too short before I started all of this the last time. So all from here to here in this little section needs to be frogged and moved down one space. So that will be my next. The next time I pick this up, it will be to frog that out. But that's okay. This is on 32 count Picture This plus Rubious, and I'm using a variegated floss that's blues because the Norway flag is red and blue, so I wanted to tie in those two colors. And those are all of my whips. I'm going to pack these away, pause, get him so he will stop scratching on the door, and then I'll be right back. All right, we have been joined by Milo over here. I decided to let him in so that he would stop scratching on the bedroom door or the office door. This is a bedroom / my office. So I had showed you all of my whips, and now let's do a kind of February wrap up. If you're into numbers, I am. I like to see what I've been able to accomplish, what I've worked on. In February, I worked on 9 different projects, and I got a total of 7,748 stitches, which for me is not, I don't know, it's very much lower than, hey, get out of there. He's trying to get to my stitching. Much lower than what I normally do in a month. But February was a short month. There's only 28 days, and I was quite busy. So 7,000, well, over 7,500 stitches is not that bad. It's more stitches than if I hadn't stitched at all. So we're going to go with that. So plans. So my March Whip Go goals. I meant to say I finished both of my February goals. One of them was 500 stitches on Royal Nutcrackers. So I got that done. And my other one, I had finished that goal before the last video. So I talked about that in the last video. For March, Jessie Marie called the numbers 2 and 22. And for me, number 2 is to finish the Christmas Classic Sal. I only have one little square left to complete in that, so that should not take me very long, maybe one evening, and I'll be done with that. And then the other one is 500 stitches on Rainbow Row, which was one of my new starts. Well, it was my new start for February, so that'll get another 500 stitches in it. So that'll make a nice little progress for a new start for this year. And then I have my new start planned for March is Liberty from Pickle Barrel Designs. I don't know when in March I'm going to start it. It'll probably be closer to the end of the month. It may or may not even be between now and the next time I see you. But that's what it's going to look like. I am missing one thread, so that's why I'm not ready to start it yet, because I need to pick up that thread. And once I get that, then I'll start it. But it will wait until after, at least after next weekend. I've got to get through next weekend. So that's my plans. And now we have stitching acquisitions. I have a couple of things. Hold on just for a moment. I am missing something. Okay, I am back. I didn't get out the fabric from my fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabric. So I got the February fabric of the month, and this is ZAnna. I think that's how you pronounce that. ZIJUAN. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but we're going to go with that. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I get 40 count linen. Okay, this is showing up very brown. It is not that brown. It is, let's see if I can pull out my whiteboard and get you a better. It is more of a purple, but it is showing up very brown on camera. But it is, you can see all the modeling. It is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But yes, this is more, all of this that's showing up brown is a deep purple. So I don't know how to get the light to show you what it actually looks like, but it is absolutely gorgeous. What I'm going to put on it, I have no idea. It would make a very pretty fabric for a pretty lady if I stitched pretty ladies. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll have to get me a pretty lady to stitch. So that is one thing. And the other is I am in Whip Warriors this year, which used to be No New Starts, but this year they changed it to Whip Warriors. And I am doing, no, stop it. He is chewing on a toy and making all kinds of racket. I am doing the road trip, and I was the 100th person to check in at our first leg for 2023. So I got to pick something from the prize shop. And I chose this Designs by Gloria and Pat book, Teddy Bears. I absolutely am a huge Designs by Gloria and Pat fan. I grew up in Sumter, which is where they were located when they were designing. And so I grew up with their designs. Hold on just one minute. Hey, stop. And I know that there's going to come a day in the not too distant future probably where I'm going to have grandbabies because my kids are all older. I have, they're all, now, not too distant. I don't mean like in the next year. I'm talking like in the next 5 maybe. I've got 2 that are still in high school, 3 that have graduated, and there's always that down the road I'm going to have grandbabies. So this has so many cute little teddy bear designs, and I realize that these are from the 90s. So for a lot of people they're a little outdated. But for me, they're teddy bears. Who wouldn't want to do a nursery in teddy bears? And in fact, when I showed one of my daughters, now this is one of the girls that's still in high school, so she's not, he just saw something out that window. She's not going to have a baby anytime soon. And she was like, oh, a teddy bear nursery would be so cute. So, look at all of these cute little teddy bears. So, for me, I love this one with the, I'm trying not to show you the chart with the bubbles. I love that one. That was so cute. So that's my haul, or my stitching acquisitions. And now life. I kind of alluded to the fact that this weekend we had a track meet. Let's go back another week because I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. So last weekend I was out of town with my youngest, who is on the wrestling team. They had their state wrestling match tournament about 3.5 hours away. 3.5 hours away. So we traveled up there. They wrestled. The tournament was for Friday and Saturday. We went up there Thursday night because they were going to start really early Friday morning, and I didn't want to get up that early to drive 3 hours. So went up there Thursday night, so I had some stitching time in the hotel. Then Friday morning, she started wrestling at 9. And she won her first match, which we were very excited about. And then she had some downtime, so I did a little bit of stitching. But mostly I kind of watched her teammates because if you've never been to a individual wrestling tournament where everybody has their own weight class, it's not teams, it's just individuals who are listed. A team one is set up a little different, but with individuals, it is chaos. There's always something going on. There were 6 mats. There was a match on every mat all the time. Her teammates were also wrestling, and so like her first match was on mat 6, and then right after that her teammate wrestled on mat 1, so we moved from mat to mat to the stands near them. So it was chaos, but a lot of fun. So then she wrestled her second match, and about 2-3 minutes in, now they're in two, actually it was a little bit more than 3 minutes in, because each match is made up of 3 rounds of 2 minutes each. In the second round, so it might have been about 3 minutes in, she got pinned. But when she got pinned, the girl, when she came down on her, landed on her rib cage. And my daughter just couldn't. She tried to get out from the pin, and when she went to breathe in and move, it was just pain. So the trainers came over, her coach, after the match was over and the other girl was declared the winner of that match. Trainers, her coach, everybody came over, was dealing with her, waited for the doctor to come over and see her, and he told her he was not going to clear her to wrestle anymore that weekend until she'd gotten an x-ray on her ribs. So then we spent 2 hours at urgent care getting an x-ray. There was no crack that could be seen in an x-ray. So we're pretty sure it was just a bruised rib, which is still very, very painful. But we got the x-ray. She was cleared. She wasn't supposed to wrestle anymore on Friday anyway, because she had lost that match. She was then in the consolation round, and the consolation round was going to start up the next morning, Saturday morning early. So gave the paperwork that cleared her to the coach. Got there the next morning. Now, she was with her team. She stayed at the hotel with her team. We were at the same hotel, but she was in rooms with her team. She went to dinner with her team, did all of that stuff with her team. My husband and I, we just did our thing. So I had time in the hotel to stitch. And then Saturday morning, we went to the venue, saw her. She said she was feeling fine because she's stubborn and hard-headed, and even if she was in pain, she wasn't going to tell anybody. And she went to go see the trainer so that the trainer could clear her. And her coach, in the meantime, came over to my husband and myself and said he wasn't going to let her wrestle. He wasn't going to take the chance of her possibly injuring herself worse. So she didn't wrestle at all on Saturday. She was very sad about that, but as a mama, I get it. Didn't want her getting hurt either. So she ended up coming in 8th overall because she wasn't allowed to move on past that first day. Had she wrestled, she might have ended up a little higher up, but 8th overall for her first year of wrestling in her weight class. That's amazing. And then, so that was the state tournament. That meant wrestling was over. Monday, she had soccer tryouts. Wednesday, she had the first varsity soccer game. She's the only freshman on the varsity team. So I wasn't sure if she'd be ready to wrestle. I'm ready to play soccer after I had gotten hurt over the weekend in wrestling. But she did. She scored 4 goals. She scored the first goal of the game. Then she scored 3 more goals. On her 4th goal that she scored, she rolled her ankle, and she was out for the rest of the game. So she just can't catch a break. But she's fine. In fact, she and her sister ran yesterday at the track meet. So yesterday's meet was a relay meet, which meant every race was a relay. It's not a normal track meet where, so every race was a relay. The coach, his goal is for my older daughter of the 2. I have 5, so she's number 4. But for those 2 who were running, she's the older one. She owns right now 7 records for her school for different running events and for javelin. His goal is for her to own every distance record for the school by the time she graduates this May. And he thought it would be really great if she and her sister could share a record by running a relay together. So they did. They ran the distance medley relay yesterday, and they set a new school record. So both of them have their names now on that record, which is really cool, and I'm really excited for both of them because not every sibling pair can say that. So we were there, but we were there all day because they ran that, and then they also both threw javelin. The run was at 11. Javelin, they didn't start till maybe 2:30. And that's where I got all sunburned. So that's been my week. My 2 weeks has been sports. This weekend I am leaving on Thursday to go with my older of the two youngest. She is going to run at New Balance Indoor Nationals in Boston. So we are going to leave on Thursday. She runs on Saturday. And we're going to explore Boston. So I'm excited about that. It's probably our last big trip together, just the two of us, before she leaves for college. Because I think we're going to do one more trip this summer, but my husband's going to get to come with us. So it's the last one she and I will get to do together before she leaves for college. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm going to try and get some stitching time in, though, while we're there, because we're not going to be going all the time. And I'll have time on the plane. And in the airport. We've got 2 hour, it's only like a 2.5 hour flight, though, so I don't know how much stitching time I'll actually have on the plane. Hopefully there won't be much turbulence. But I'm going to go from 80-degree weather to very, very cold in Boston. So that's why I don't have a lot of extra room in my bags, because I'm going to have to pack some heavier clothes than what I have been wearing here the last couple of weeks here in South Carolina. But I'm looking forward to it. So if you have stuck around with me for this long, I hope you have a great week. I hope you get lots of stitching done. Enjoy your time with your families. Y'all stay happy, stay healthy, keep stitching. Bye.